It's Tony time, bitch! From a 12-fight winning streak to an 8-fight losing streak, we're going to talk about the downfall of Tony Ferguson. That the likes that we've probably never seen before in the UFC. Like, I know BJ Penn went from world champion to getting knocked out by a civilian in the street, but this is an insane downfall. Let's not forget this. Now, also, let's not people forget, man. Let's not forget that he is a legend of the game, and we can't just sit here and slate him for however long this video is. Probably 8 minutes is going to be my guess. Let me know how long it is in the comments, please. I need engagement, man. Please. So we're going to talk about what caused this. There's three major points that I want to bring up, but we're probably going to go on some side tangents because this video is not well made at all. Starting off, as the 12-year-olds would put it, aura, right? This guy used to have so much aura, you know? I don't know what the word means. He was the boogeyman of the lightweight division. You would look at him, you would hit him in the face, and he's going to sit there and bobbing up and down, smiling at you like, hee hee, you know, kicking you shin to shin. My man would go, boom, shin to shin. That hurts both of you. That ain't just hurting him like a normal leg kick. Shin to shin, purposefully. Insane. We've all seen the Joe Rogan clip. I would have it in here, but it'll probably strike my video. The bald guy. I don't know. I can't think of insults off the top of my head. Anyway, this is the fight he lost his aura. I'm not gonna stop. I'm stopping. I'm not using the word aura ever again. Lucas Tracy aura tier list. Jeez. Anyway, he lost his aura. He lost his shine. There we go. In this fight here against Justin Gaethje, he looked very beatable. Now, I would say this fight was very close. It could arguably be 2-2 going into the fifth. And then, Herb Dean stopped it with a minute 20 left in the round. Maybe because he, saw into the future and realized, shit, if I don't stop it here, he's going to start, I don't know, doing some even crazier stuff than he is right now. Anyway, he looked very beatable in this fight. And then when you think about it, after one fight takes a beating, after a career of beatings, it's just too much for them. And they just go, oh, I can't take this anymore. And their body kind of just gives up on them and they start, and then they do, then it turns into, one fight, two fights, 8 fights, mental. And that's what I think really kicked off this thing. Like it was, when things start building up over long periods of time. So when a dam is about to break and there's small cracks. One crack isn't going to break it, but 70 of them probably will. And I think this was these are the cracks shown his career. He starts getting older. He starts, taking punishment a little bit worse. He starts getting injured a little bit more, with the Khabib fights that kept getting bloody ruled out. 5 of them. Never mind. These are the cracks that were starting to show, and then boom, the dam bursts, and he gets the shit kicked out of him by Justin Gaethje. He gets beaten by Oliveira. Who else beat him? Beneil Dariush, I think, beat him. Yeah, Beneil Dariush. If you're losing to Beneil Dariush, you're not a top contender. Sorry, that's just the truth. Yeah, there's going to be some guy who lost to Beneil Dariush, and he's actually very good. Doesn't really matter. Second factor, I believe, that caused this, other than aura, is age. 36 years of age. For reference, John Jones is 37, and he is refusing to fight his number one contender, and is on his way out of the sport. He was 36 when he lost to Justin Gaethje. That's what started this massive conglomerate of defeats. So he was 36 in 2020. He lost 2 fights that year. Then, I believe his birthday's in February. Then he lost to Beneil Dariush when he was 37. Chandler when he's 38. He got knocked out bad by Chandler when he was 38. Diaz when he was still 38. Then Green 39. Pimblett 39. And then lost to Chiesa when he was 40. There is pretty much no coming back from this when you're 40 odd years of age and you are getting pummeled, Like when you're 40 years of age and you're in John Jones' spot, he hasn't really taken that much damage in his career. He's had some close fights, but he's not taking punishment every day, And he doesn't like to, do hard sparring or maybe not crazy antics, but you get what I'm trying to get at here, hopefully. But the difference, like, you can obviously say, like, Max Holloway is also taking a lot of punishment, but Max Holloway's like 33. When he gets to 36, we might be ringing the alarm bells, mate. We might be saying, Max, it's probably time to retire, buddy. Like, that's probably what's going to happen with Max Holloway. He's taking a stupid amount of damage in his career as well, which brings me on to the next point. Damage slash CTE. Now, this is the sad part because this is irreversible damage and he can never come back to this. This isn't like I've broken my finger, let's let it heal for 6 months. When your brain gets damaged, currently we don't have the technology, and I don't think we will for a while, at least in Tony Ferguson's lifetime, to reverse this damage. He's been fighting since 2008. Professional fighting, by the way. That's not including sparring, amateur fights, bloody street fights if he's had any of them. Like, or maybe just like heading a football, banging his head on the wall, being a moron. When you like lift, when you got like a car boot above you and you like lift your head up suddenly and you bang your head. That probably doesn't help. I mean, it's not, the equivalent of getting smashed by Justin Gaethje, but like probably isn't helping. He took a lot of damage in the Justin Gaethje fight. Obviously, that's probably the straw that broke the camel's back, as probably a better analogy to use. But the CTE mixed with the fact he's like 40 years of age and the fact that people pretty much just see him as a free win now. He fought Paddy Pimblett and everyone saw him and Paddy Pimblett saw him as a free win. Like, you can't trash talk Tony Ferguson when he's 7 fights, like when he's on a 7-fight losing streak. Like, Chiesa probably looked at him, that's an easy win. He's no longer the boogeyman of his division. He's no longer 20-something years of age or in his prime. And he's not fresh without any damage. It's time to retire, boys. I said the video, it's Tony time. It's time, Tony. It's time. You've got to hang him up, and I think the best way you can do this is a retirement fight against Nick Diaz. Now, obviously, I said probably not a good idea to fight, especially with taking the damage that Tony Ferguson's taken. But it is Nick Diaz. Like, people forget, man. Nick Diaz, his cardio is insane. Swam to Alcatraz 5 times. Listen, Nick Diaz has also got his problems as well. I mean, we've all seen the video of him with the pipe in the streets. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just look up Nick Diaz crack pipe and you'll see what I'm on about. Stick these two in a cage, say retirement fight. It'll give them both a nice little send off, and then the sport as a whole can move on without having these guys. Well, I mean, more Tony than Nick just get beaten, and we just have to keep watching them lose more and more and more. Like, the UFC, the reports of the UFC might like release Tony Ferguson if he doesn't retire. It's time. It's time to hang him up, probably for both of these guys, but especially for Tony Ferguson. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. I am losing my voice from the stupid, terrible Joe Rogan impressions. So this is probably the only time I can record this video. I can't even have a chance to re-record it. See you in a bit, guys. Goodbye.